right, 1 year and a few months later, the Immigration Commission has yet to produce a full report for government. The Immigration Minister revealing the details as to the work completed thus far. Plus, strengthening bilateral ties thanks to the Bahamas Canada Innovation Trade Mission. The Deputy Prime Minister weighs in on the benefits for the country. And then a tragic incident caught on camera turns into an unbreakable bond. A woman saved from a brutal attack on the streets of the capital meets her hero. Our Delvado Emmanuel has their heartwarming story. And then in our news at 7:30, union leaders are hitting back. They say over 400 teachers still await confirmations, in addition to 26 nurses still awaiting appointments from 2023. This as nearly 500 retired civil servants were recently rehired. These stories and so much more as Our News Live at 7 starts now. Welcome to Our News Live at 7. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. More than a year after the formation of the Immigration Commission, Immigration Minister Alfred Sayers revealing that the preliminary report shows the work of immigration officers has been above board, but the full report has not yet been completed. Now, the commission's formation was triggered amid ongoing challenges in the department after former Minister Keith Bell was engulfed in several controversial matters, beginning with granting citizenship to the family of a dead man at his funeral and releasing Chinese nationals from custody. Back in October of 2023, Prime Minister Philip Davis formed the commission headed by Alexandria Hall to review the process and procedures of the department.
Providing data, giving them tours of the work so that they have an insight of the processes. And the preliminary report observation is that the work and the quality of the immigration officers has really been sterling.
The commission consists of Hall, former Education Director Marcellus Taylor, and former RBDF Commodore Clifford Butch Scavella. When the commission was formed, Hall said the findings would be reported to the Immigration Minister. However, the minister had this to say just earlier today.
That commission will report to the Prime Minister. That commission I can say that we are giving the commission our complete cooperation. And we look forward to the report in due course when it is presented to the Prime Minister.
The Bahamas taking another step to strengthen its relationship with Canada. The two countries forming the Bahamas Canada Innovation Trade Mission, aimed at strengthening bilateral ties and exploring business opportunities. The trade mission will also focus on long-term collaborations and growth, establishing partnerships between businesses through the use of technological exchange and innovation. Speaking at Bahama Resort this week, Canada's High Commissioner to the Bahamas, Mark Berman, shares the importance of the two countries coming together.
This trade mission is another step forward in strengthening our relationship and unlocking new opportunities for mutual prosperity. As we move forward with today's discussion, I encourage all participants to seize the opportunity for meaningful exchanges, partnerships, and business growth. The connections that we build here help to shape a resilient and dynamic economic future for both Canada and the Bahamas. To all participating businesses, I encourage you to take full advantage of the mission, to engage, to collaborate, and to build meaningful partnerships.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Chester Cooper, says there are many ways in which Canada can help support our economy, specifically this one.
We are keenly focused on medical cannabis. We're establishing a cannabis authority, and we hope that this new initiative will help to advance much research, much development, much new opportunities. And I am delighted to say to Canadian counterparts that you have much experience in this area gained by your liberation of this industry over the course of the last few years.
Well, popular Baddies Caribbean star Diamond the Body was let off with a warning after pleading guilty to drug possession. The reality star, whose real name is Sydney Person, was arrested at the Lyndon Pinley International Airport on February 27th after 4 grams of marijuana were found in her luggage. Person was headed back to Fort Lauderdale when the drugs were discovered. According to Person, her assistant may have put the drugs in her bag when he packed her luggage. Her lawyer, Ian Cargill, asked the court to caution Person as a conviction would affect her future travel here. He said she was in the Bahamas exploring business ventures and hoped to return. Meantime, in celebration of its 57th anniversary, the Kiwanis Club of Cable Beach paid a courtesy call at police headquarters on Thursday. During a heartwarming ceremony, the spotlight was on Commissioner of Police Shanta Knowles, who was honored for her outstanding achievements in both law enforcement and community service. As the first female commissioner of police, Knowles' leadership has been nothing short of groundbreaking. She was also recognized for her impactful role as a former president of the Kiwanis Club of Cable Beach, where she led initiatives focused on community empowerment and service. Current Kiwanis Club President Keishla Cash reflected on Commissioner Knowles' invaluable contributions. Here's what she had to say.
Your journey is a powerful testament to the values of dedication, perseverance, and service. From your impactful leadership in Kiwanis, where you championed in community service and empowerment, to your groundbreaking role in law enforcement, you have constantly demonstrated excellence, integrity, and resilience.
The top cop was gifted some of her favorite items, including tea imported from Cat Island. In her remarks, Commissioner Knowles shared her journey with the Kiwanis family. She reflected on her time as a Kiwanet in high school, the importance of community service, and her continued commitment to both law enforcement and civic organizations. Knowles spoke passionately about her dedication to serving others and the values of the Kiwanis Club.
The service that I give as a Kiwanian and as a police officer is truly from my heart. I do believe that our club, as we celebrate 57 years, is a shining example for others to see that we care about the well-being of others from the projects that we take on. And as a police officer in the community, we care about the well-being of others for the projects that we take on also as police officers.
Well, a tragic incident turned into a story of bravery, resilience, and an unbreakable bond. Proof that even in the darkest moments, humanity shines through. Latasha Roll, a woman who was brutally attacked last year, came face to face with her hero, Delano Clark, the man who saved her from a violent assault in December. This emotional moment marked the first time the pair had met since the life-changing incident. Our Delvardo Emmanuel has the story.
It was an emotional morning as Latasha Roll and Delano Clark reunited for the first time since Clark heroically saved Roll from a violent attack at a bus stop on Blue Hill Road last December. Fighting back tears, Roll expressed deep gratitude for Clark's selfless action, recalling the terrifying moments that left her with 2 broken legs and changed her life forever.
Thank the gentleman. Yeah. So much. So much, Johanna. Thank you so much. So much, and I can never forget that day. I cannot forget that day. You came there and you rescued me. So I want to give you, I can't say how much to thank you. I can't say how much to thank you.
The Rotary Club of the Bahamas, along with the Bahamas Crisis Center, honored the pair for their courage and resilience. Clark was awarded a white ribbon pin from the Crisis Center for his heroic act. He was also presented with a plaque of commendation by the Rotary Club of the Bahamas.
Today we're here to recognize and reward somebody who took the initiative and stepped forward and, as the minister said, was in the category of problem solving.
National Security Minister Wayne Monroe addressed the gathering, stressing the need for more individuals to take action.
There was Ms. Roll, who had done absolutely nothing to deserve or attract the attack. Then there were those who watched and really did nothing about it and were not a part of the solution. But fortunately, there was one person who boldly acted, Mr. Delano Clark, and he became a part of the solution.
The young mother did not leave empty-handed. She was presented with a monetary reward from the Crisis Center to help her during her recovery, as the incident has left her unable to work for the past 3 months. Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
Definitely a heartwarming update. Well, it's time now for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Megan, and a happy TGIF, everybody. Another beautiful day around the islands. A dry air mass in place kept us pretty nice and quiet. Temperatures managed to get near the 80-degree mark, but we are settling into the low 70s. 73 is the current temperature on the outside. Few clouds, east-northeast winds at 5 miles per hour. Those winds are really light out there. Your feels-like temperature is at 73. It is currently 71 in Freeport, Grand Bahama, the second city. Marshall, Abaco, 72. 72 also in Alistown, Bimini. We pick up 74 on Great Harbor Key, 73 in the capital, Nicholstown, Andros, and in Governors Harbor. 76 is there. Central Bahamas, 77 in Kemps Bay, Arthurstown, Cat Island. Georgetown, the Exumas, Deadman's Key, Long Island, all 78. 75 in Coburn Townsend, Salvador, and into the Southeast Bahamas. 79, Duncantown, Ragged Island, a string of 78s, Colonel Hill, Crooked Island, Delectable Bay, Acklands, Abrams Bay, Maguana, Providenciales, Turks and Caicos Islands, and Matthewtown, Inagua. You are the warm spot this evening at 81 degrees. Satellite radar composite. Weak pressure pattern in place across the area, so we have some very light winds out there, but we do have a weak boundary. We call that a surface trough near the central Bahamas. That's sparking some isolated showers across that area. That will continue to push out towards the east, but we have a frontal boundary just to the north of us. That's going to be dropping into the northwest Bahamas by this evening, bringing us just some clouds, not much in terms of any showers. That's going to wash out. We do expect another front. That one will get in here by Monday. That's going to continue to reinforce the nice conditions we've been having over the last couple of days. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. Look at your weekend forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, Wanya McCoy begins his conference title defense with a new personal best. We're already looking ahead to the final on Saturday.
KFC Value Box for...
It's the first exclusive destination just for Carnival Cruise Line guests. Celebration Key in Grand Bahama, a multi-million-dollar project expected to help kickstart Grand Bahama's long-crippled economy. But questions are already coming about who will benefit, how much, and how soon. Atalia Hall asks those critical questions in a special RTV Presents, Wednesday, February 26th at 8 p.m., only on RTV.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. The NCAA indoor track and field season enters conference championships, and Bahamians are already making an impact on their respective programs. On night one of the SEC Indoor Champs in College Station, Texas, Wanya McCoy of the Florida Gators is well on his way to defending his 200-meter title. McCoy, the 2024 champion, began his title defense with a new personal best of 20.25 seconds in the prelims. Anthea Charlton also scored the Gators' first point of the meet in the long jump. Charlton recorded a mark of 6.47 meters on her final attempt to finish in fourth place. At the Birmingham Crossplex in Alabama, Georgia Southern's Shatalia Dorsett won her first individual conference title at the Sun Belt Indoor Championships. What a way to start the weekend for Jonquil Jones. On the court, her team opened the Women's Chinese Basketball Association postseason with a win, and off the court, she was named one of USA Today's Women of the Year. Jones recently joined Szechuan, and they began the postseason with a 97-53 win over Heilongjiang in the WCBA quarterfinals. USA Today selected 61 honorees from a cross-section of American society that included leaders, activists, athletes, and others that they deemed inspirational to the next generation. Jones was honored as one of those leaders for breaking barriers, pushing for change, and making their communities better. Bahamas basketball will once again make history this summer, headed to the FIBA America for the first time in 3 decades. This summer in Managua, Nicaragua, will mark just the second AmeriCup appearance for the Bahamas in the event's history. In 1995, they finished 8th in what was then called the Tournament of the Americas. And of course, your 10YS Plays of the Week. That'll do it for our sports. Stay tuned to our news at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world, as Pope Francis is said to have suffered a setback requiring a breathing machine. Plus, the United Nations warning that drastic U.S. aid cuts will be devastating for the world's most vulnerable. And from the region, President of the Dominican Republic declaring gangs in Haiti as terrorist organizations. This amid escalating violence in the Caribbean nation. We have the details when our news returns.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
It's the first exclusive destination just for Carnival Cruise Line guests. Celebration Key in Grand Bahama, a multi-million-dollar project expected to help kickstart Grand Bahama's long-crippled economy. But questions are already coming about who will benefit, how much, and how soon. Atalia Hall asks those critical questions in a special RTV Presents, Wednesday, February 26th at 8 p.m. only on RTV.
Presents JITG Music Fest. New edition. Tony Braxton. DJ Cassidy's Pass the Mic Live. Starring Ja Rule.
Welcome back to our news. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. The Vatican revealing that Pope Francis, who has been battling double pneumonia in hospital for 2 weeks, had an isolated breathing crisis and received non-invasive mechanical ventilation to help him breathe earlier today. The Vatican describing the incident as a setback following an announcement just hours earlier that the Pope had a peaceful night in hospital Thursday and his condition was believed to be improving past the most critical phase. The 88-year-old pontiff said to have experienced an isolated bronchospasm crisis, a constriction in the Pope's respiratory airways akin to an asthma attack. The Pope has been in Rome's hospital after being admitted on February 14th with a severe respiratory infection that triggered other complications. And it's the end of an era for Skype. As Microsoft announced Friday, it is shutting down the internet calling service on May 5th, ending a 2-decade run. The company says the move streamlines its communication services as it shifts focus to Microsoft Teams. Skype wants to revolutionize global calling, but struggle to keep up with rivals like Zoom. Existing users can log into Teams for free, with chats and contacts migrating automatically. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres warning that drastic U.S. aid cuts will be devastating for the world's most vulnerable. The Trump administration slashing foreign assistance by 92% after a review to align with its America First policy. Guterres said this week that programs supporting Sudanese refugees, counter-narcotics efforts, and disease prevention are already running out of funds. He's calling for a reversal of the decision, saying it makes the world less healthy, less safe, and less prosperous.
I can only hope that these decisions can be reversed based on more careful reviews, and the same applies to other countries that have recently announced reductions in humanitarian and development aid. The reduction of America's humanitarian role and influence will run counter to American interests globally.
Meantime, Dominican President Luis Abinader announcing a crackdown on Haitian gangs Thursday, declaring them terrorist organizations amid escalating violence in Haiti. The president, who has taken a hardline stance on border security, says any gang member who enters the Dominican Republic will be pursued, arrested, and tried under anti-terror laws. This comes as the United Nations reports over 5,600 murders in Haiti last year, with the Dominican president blaming the inability of the international community to address the crisis. Messaging giant WhatsApp experienced a global outage Friday afternoon, with more than 50,000 users reporting issues shortly after 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, according to Down Detector. Most users reported difficulties sending messages, though issues have since declined. Meta, which owns WhatsApp, has yet to comment. While some reports of issues also came in for Facebook and Messenger, the impact was much smaller. Meta's last mass outage in December affected both WhatsApp and Instagram, but Friday's glitch doesn't appear as widespread as the 2021 outage that lasted nearly 6 hours. Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was February 28th. Plus, it was a night of love, laughter, and entertainment. Our Danielle Miller tells us how Sapodilla Estates is looking to keep love alive all year round. And then in our news at 7:30, in just a few months, Carnival's Celebration Key is expected to be fully operational, ushering in a long-awaited economic boost for the island of Grand Bahama. We have the details when our news returns.
The City of Miami Gardens presents JITG Music Fest. New edition. Tony Braxton, DJ Cassidy's Pass the Mic Live, starring Ja Rule, Fat Joe, and Remy Ma. Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh. Beanie Man, Escape, Coco Jones, Kim. Also, a special set featuring Miss Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, YG Marley, Busta Rhymes, Doechii, and many more. JITG Music Fest, March 8th and 9th at Hard Rock Stadium. Tickets at jazzinthegardens.com.
Tune in to Hot 91.7 for your chance to win a trip to Jazz in the Gardens.
Each week, we go into the heart of our second city and talk to the people helping to shape this community.
This is what makes me happy to come to work every day, to know that I'm helping someone.
These are the faces of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, helping to maintain infrastructure, grow the economy, and bring a better quality of life.
Our mission statement is to better the lives.
Because I have to be a part of Grand Bahama.
Join me at Talia Hall every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. right here on Our News as we share these inspiring stories.
This day in Bahamian history, in 1920, noted Bahamian artist Amos Ferguson was born in the forest on Great Exuma. The Bahamas Historical Society notes that Ferguson was an artist, upholsterer, furniture finisher, and house painter who did not focus on his artistic works until his 40s. He claimed his calling to paint was divinely inspired, as is reflected in his numerous canvases or biblical stories. A number of his works also focused on Bahamian life and culture. Ferguson gained international exposure in the 1970s when American collector Suki Miller bought several of his paintings, which the Historical Society notes would eventually lead to a show in the United States featuring his work. In 2005, Exuma Street in the Grove, Nassau was renamed Amos Ferguson Street. His home, which sits on that street, was converted into an art gallery. Ferguson died in Nassau in October 2012. He was 89. And finally, in world history, 2004 saw the resignation of Haitian President Jean-Bertrand Aristide. At President Aristide's request, the United States facilitated his safe departure from Haiti. The U.S. State Department noting the decision by President Aristide resolved the political impasse that was at the root of the violent unrest in Haiti at that time. The U.S. deployed a contingent of U.S. Marines as the initial contingent of a multinational interim force. And in 2012, the Vatican Secret Archives put on a public exhibition of some of its most important documents in celebration of its 400th birthday. The 50 miles of shelves were packed with the Pope's correspondences with everyone from Michelangelo, Voltaire, Mozart, Hitler, and Abraham Lincoln, among others, and were normally seen only by strictly vetted scholars. The exhibit was designed to counter some of the myths perpetuated by works of fiction like Dan Brown's Angels and Demons.
All right, well, although the month of love is coming to an end today, you can still keep the romance alive all year round. Our Danielle Miller tells us how.
Love has truly been good to me, and not even one sad day or minute have I had since you've come my way.
That was just a taste of what we experienced on Friday evening at Sapodilla Estates. Held on the patio of the lush property, guests were adorned in all black attire as they enjoyed an evening of love. A fabulous setting for anyone seeking a grown and sexy event. Hosted by Epic for Reals and with performances by Phoenix, the Dazzle Band, and Bloody, organizers delivered on their promise to give attendees love, laughter, and entertainment.
You know, this is a season of love. Although we practice it on a consistent basis all the time, we figure we'll come out and put an extra icing on the cake, if you will.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
Thanks so much, Danielle. And of course, Hot 91 and Our News are teaming up to get you to this year's Jazz in the Gardens, March 8th and 9th, featuring Lauryn Hill, New Edition, Tony Braxton, Beanie Man, and more. Be sure to listen in to Hot 91 weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. for the Jazz in the Gardens code phrase. Once you hear it, head over to hot91fm.com or the Music Media 242 app contest page to enter. The winner receives round-trip tickets, hotel and concert tickets for you and a friend. Be sure to look out for the Our News team to tell us all about your experience. It's the Jazz in the Gardens Fly Away promotion. Now, to watch any of today's top stories, be sure to visit ournews.bs. That does it for Our News at 7. Joining us now is our Talia Hall with the latest headlines. Talia.
Thanks so much, Megan. Well, coming up, trade unionists are demanding action from government as hundreds of their members await confirmation and other payments. Plus, a man sentenced to over 3 decades in jail for a murder committed back in 2009. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on Our News Live at 7:30, trade unionists are turning up the heat on the Davis administration demanding action. For employees still waiting on their confirmations, our Berthany McDermott has the details. Also, a 34-year-old man has been sentenced to 32 years behind bars for a 2009 murder in Eleuthera. We have courtroom details coming up. Plus, Grand Bahamas' economy could soon see a much-needed boost. This as Carnival Celebration Key nears completion. The multi-million-dollar project is set to be fully operational in just a few months. And later, Autism Awareness Month is still weeks away, but officials at Reach Bahamas are making a difference every single day. This as the nonprofit organization has been supporting families for some 25 years, offering knowledge, tools, and resources for parents of children with autism. Our News Live at 7:30 is back in a moment.
My name is Trevi Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
Once I had a gal, she called me pain. Left me in the cold and pouring rain. So I decided to put her down. I took a trip to Cowboy Town.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-17.
Welcome to our news. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. Trade unionists are sounding off and urging the Davis administration to address employees who are still awaiting confirmations. They made the bombshell revelations as they appeared as guests of On the Record with Jerome Sawyer. Our Berthany McDermott has the details.
Just over 400 teachers are awaiting confirmations and other payments from the government, according to Bahamas Union of Teachers President Belinda Wilson. It comes on the backdrop of the shocking revelation that nearly 500 public servants were re-engaged with the public service.
Confirmations, who are awaiting their payments after they would have been promoted, who are waiting to be reclassified. So for example, let's say you had an associate's degree and you went and you achieved a bachelor's degree. That comes with additional compensation. So persons have been waiting. You have some persons who have been in the service in the 52-week program now for 13 years.
Meanwhile, Bahamas Nurses Union President Muriel Lightburn calling the re-engagement a slap in the face, given a list of issues facing her members. While appearing as a guest on the Record with host Jerome Sawyer, Lightburn shared how around 26 nurses are still awaiting appointments from 2023. This is especially shocking given the age-old manpower shortage in the sector.
And they are working tirelessly every day, doing home visits, going into the community, working in the clinics, doing all these things. I'm Mr. Sawyer.
But what does that mean? The Nurses Union president says technically those nurses are not employed with the government. Lightburn hit out at the government for bringing in nurses from other countries while Bahamian nurses are still waiting appointments. But unconfirmed nurses aren't the only ones left out. She explained nurses have not been paid for months.
Those are the nurses that came to me to
Those are the ones that you know of?
The ones that I know of. Then we have nurses that are still waiting confirmation, who may have been appointed and have not yet been confirmed in their post. Then we have, Mr. Sawyer, we have nurses, graduate nurses, we call them intern nurses, who are waiting to be paid from November.
The issue surfaced after Public Service Minister Pierre Glover-Roll revealed in Parliament that 491 public servants have been re-engaged. It was later revealed that the majority of them were in the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Glover-Roll later explained the issue is due to poor succession planning in the government and a failure to promote over the years. Meanwhile, adding to those nurses are those who recently passed exams.
I want to say shout out congratulations to those 70 nurses that have successfully passed their consul exams. What are we going to do? How are we going to add these people on? And they are not ashamed to say to us that they didn't have the money. That bothers me.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
All right, thanks for that, Berthany. Well, a man has been jailed for 32 years for a 2009 murder. 34-year-old Ginaldo Farrington also received a concurrent sentence for 2 attempted murders that stem from the same incident. Farrington was convicted of the December 28, 2009 murder of Teron Albury and the attempted murders of Kennard McSweeney and Alexander McSweeney at a bar in Gregorytown, Eleuthera. Farrington, according to the evidence, had a verbal altercation over access to the bathroom in a bar with Kennard McSweeney that turned physical. McSweeney was prevented from using the men's bathroom because Farrington's girlfriend was in there. Justice Neil Brathwaite said that he believed that Farrington should have been sentenced to 35 years for the murder and 25 years for the attempted murders. However, he reduced the sentences by 3 years as compensation for a breach of his constitutional right to be tried within a reasonable time. It took prosecutors 14 years to bring the case to trial. Carnival Celebration Key, a multi-million-dollar project, is set to be fully operational in just a few months, offering a long-awaited boost to Grand Bahama's economy. Many on the island are hopeful that this transformative development will finally take Grand Bahama to the next level. In an exclusive sit-down interview, Marie McKenzie, Senior Vice President of Government and Destination Affairs at Carnival Corporation, shared details on the economic impact of Celebration Key. She detailed the project's future, noting that it's expected to attract 2 million visitors to Grand Bahama each year.
After we build the second pier, which we expect to be completed in the end of 28, I believe, right? After we build the second pier, we're looking at over 4 million people in Grand Bahama. So estimate 20% leaving that port.
Big numbers.
Big numbers.
That we haven't seen for decades.
Big numbers. So that what I keep saying is, do not think that everyone is going to stay in that port. And when people ask how are Grand Bahamians going to benefit, they need to be ready for that minimum 20% or 10%, whatever it is. It's going to be a large number of people that will leave that port.
All right, great news for the island. If you missed the full interview, you can catch a rebroadcast of Our TV Presents The Impact of Carnival Celebration Key on Wednesday, March 5th at 8 p.m. and Saturday, March 8th at 8 p.m. Well, as we mentioned, major economic activity is in store for Grand Bahama as Celebration Key is set to open on July 19th, despite lingering concerns from residents still reeling from past promises that failed to boost the island's economy. Carnival Corporation is reaffirming its commitment to Grand Bahama's revitalization. Many are hopeful that Celebration Key will finally deliver the long-awaited economic uplift for Grand Bahama. Well, during our monthly sit-down with RF Bank and Trust Group Vice President and Global Head of Investment David Slatter, he confirmed his confidence in the project as he believes the project is definitely happening.
July 19th, they'll open to the public or to the global market, the cruise market. So, you know, I've seen them advertising Celebration Key during the Super Bowl, on U.S. television now for months. So obviously they are fully committed to making this happen. Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be a positive for Grand Bahama because obviously there's jobs actually on the property, but then there's the secondary benefits of perhaps people needing car rentals or places to stay. So, yep, I think it's highly unlikely that they will not open in July, but it definitely would be part of the, what should I say, another data point that would make it more attractive to consider. So, once again, individuals need to understand their own situation, right? I mean, you don't want to overextend yourself hoping that this is going to be the case, but if you do have the means, perhaps, to put some of your capital to work, in real estate in Grand Bahama, maybe now's a good time.
All right, well, it's been a warm day in the capital, but what can we expect as we move into the weekend? Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Natalia, and happy TGIF, everybody. Beautiful evening on the outside. If you have plans to get out there, go and enjoy. 73 degrees is our current temperature, with a few clouds on the outside. Your winds now out of the east-northeast at 5 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 73. Satellite and radar composite. Some patchy clouds across the area. We do have a weak surface trough across the central Bahamas, sparking some showers, possibly even an isolated thunderstorm, but mostly shower activity. Also, there's a weak frontal boundary now dropping into the northwest Bahamas. That does not have much in terms of any significant moisture associated with it, so we're not expecting much rainfall. But the temperatures behind should be reinforced before we see another front getting here sometime on Monday. That one will continue to keep us with some very nice conditions for the upcoming week. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. A look at your weekend forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, for parents raising children with autism, support is available year-round through Reach Bahamas. The 25-year-old nonprofit is helping parents and children thrive. We have the full story coming up. Also, CIBC First Caribbean is giving back in a big way, donating some $74,000 to several cancer organizations across the country. The recipients say it's a powerful show of support for patients and survivors in the fight against cancer. And later, the Royal Bahamas Police Force is gearing up for a month-long celebration. This as Police Month kicks off this weekend with a full calendar of events to honor one of the country's oldest law enforcement agencies. That's all coming up when our news returns.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Wendy's and Coca-Cola is ready to give you a summer of fun with over $20,000 in cash and prizes. Upgrade your premium lunch combo to a medium or a large, or purchase a large salad with a Coke for a chance to win amazing prizes like a 50-inch TV and soundbar, a staycation at Comfort Suites, or a $3,000 Going Places travel voucher. Enter online at Wendy's Bahamas Facebook page for a chance.
For parents with kids that have autism, here's some important information for you. While April, which is recognized as Autism Awareness Month, is still a while away, officials say volunteers at REACH are doing their part to help those kids daily. REACH is a nonprofit organization that seeks to provide parents with comprehensive knowledge and tools in all areas to combat the biological disorder. REACH Chairman Dwayne Gibson says they have already begun a pilot program allowing older kids to gather in a safe environment to learn and interact with each other.
They come and they gather and they are able to participate in various activities, cooking, painting. They had a wonderful Valentine's celebration very recently. They participated in October Halloween Festival. It's just been a wonderful time for them. They get to see and bond and just meet new friends.
Gibson emphasizing it's important because many kids need help, so it gives them an opportunity to interact and develop their motor skills. And here's how you can help.
Just contact our REACH office, indicate they want to make a donation or they want to volunteer. We were able a few weeks ago to have Royal Bank come and participate. Wonderful time with the kids. They read to the kids, they played with the kids, the young adults. And so if an organization wants to participate, they can contact 328-4123. We would like to have more children participate. That requires more resources.
Well, CIBC Caribbean is making a powerful statement of community support by donating some $74,000 to several cancer organizations across the country. Funds for the contribution were raised through their recent 2024 Walk for the Cure initiative. This presentation was held in the CIBC boardroom at its Shirley Street location this morning. They also officially launched their 2025 Walk for the Cure initiative as well. During the presentation, Managing Director of CIBC Caribbean, Dr. Jackie Ben, says this donation enhances their ability to support those battling cancer.
Each step taken and every dollar raised during the Walk for the Cure event represents a beacon of hope for countless lives impacted by cancer. While this disease continues to represent challenges, it also brings out the best in our community, showcasing our compassion and resilience.
These organizations saying a major thank you to CIBC for the donation.
When you see, the love that is given towards, especially survivors, because if you know anybody that deals with cancer on a whole, that's a very expensive journey.
We just do whatever we can to assist those in need. And so donations from Corporate Bahamas, like this donation, goes a real long way in helping the community.
The funds themselves go into mainly functioning, the providing funds for the Cancer Caring Center, which we have. And the Caring Center is a place where we house Family Island residents that come to Nassau for treatment.
So we have 13 branches in the Family Islands. So as you can see, we've covered the Bahamas, maybe a little better than CIBC does.
When our news comes back from the break, the Royal Bahamas Police Force is ready to celebrate. Police Month begins this weekend with a series of events highlighting their rich history and ongoing commitment to crime fighting.
Coming up in sports, we check in at the SEC Indoor Champs, another honor for JJ, more from the America, and of course, your 10YS Plays of the Week.
And warm weather across the capital today, but will it stick around? Greg is back with your weekend weather planner when our news returns.
Wendy's and Coca-Cola is ready to give you a summer of fun with over $20,000 in cash and prizes. Upgrade your premium lunch combo to a medium or a large, or purchase a large salad with a Coke for a chance to win amazing prizes. Like a 50-inch TV and soundbar, a staycation at Comfort Suites, or a $3,000 Going Places travel voucher. Enter online at Wendy's Bahamas Facebook page for a chance to win.
Every season creates an opportunity for you to enjoy the comfort and security of your most valuable assets. Unfortunately, termites are common and very unwanted guests that never stop eating. With Struckham, you can enjoy the peace of mind as we protect your investment with our 3-year fumigation warranty. Struckham, #1 in pest control services.
Diet-friendly special.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. The NCAA indoor track and field season enters conference championships, and Bahamians are already making an impact on their respective programs. On night 1 of the SEC Indoor Champs in College Station, Texas, Wanya McCoy of the Florida Gators is well on his way to defending his 200-meter title. McCoy, the 2024 champion, began his title defense with a new personal best of 20.25 seconds in the prelims. At the time, it was a new meet and facility record before they were broken again in the prelims, but he'll have an opportunity to reclaim those records Saturday night in the finals. I'm sure of it. Anthea Charlton also scored the Gators' first point of the meet in the long jump. Charlton recorded a mark of 6.47 meters on her final attempt to finish in 4th place. At the Birmingham Crossplex in Alabama, Georgia Southern's Shatalia Dorsett won her first individual conference title at the Sun Belt Indoor Championships. Dorsett and her incredible last name won the 60-meter dash with a school record and personal best time, 7.33 seconds. She also ran another personal best of 23.56 seconds in the 200 meters to finish 5th. What a way to start the weekend for Jonquil Jones. On the court, her team opened the Women's Chinese Basketball Association postseason with a win, and off the court, she was named one of USA Today's Women of the Year. Jones recently joined Szechuan, and they began the postseason with a 97-53 win over Heilongjiang in the WCBA quarterfinals. USA Today selected 61 honorees from a cross-section of American society that included leaders, activists, athletes, and others that they deemed inspirational to the next generation. Jones was honored as one of those leaders for breaking barriers, pushing for change, and making their communities better. Bahamas basketball will once again make history this summer, headed to the FIBA America for the first time in 3 decades. This summer in Managua, Nicaragua will mark just the second AmeriCup appearance for the Bahamas in the event's history. In 1995, they finished 8th in what was then called the Tournament of the Americas. Coached by Moon McPhee, that team got a historic win over Venezuela in the group stage. Fast forward 30 years later, and the qualification process for this year's event is complete, and the field of 12 teams is all set. The Bahamas has joined the group that includes host Nicaragua, Uruguay, Brazil, the USA, Argentina, Colombia, Panama, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and Canada. The tournament will be hosted August 23rd to 31st at the Alexis Arguello Sports Center in Managua. It's Friday, it's the last day in February, it's also the last day to say Happy Black History Month for the year. Go ahead, say it. Now here's your top plays. At 5, we get started in spring training and Sebastian Walcott's superstar trajectory continues. Gets 2 doubles on one day and hits his first homer of spring training just 2 days later. At the SEC Indoor Champs, Wanya McCoy runs a new personal best in the opening round of the 200 meters. For now, we'll check back on Saturday. Coming in at 3 at the AmeriCup qualifiers, Nato Bridgewater steps back, banks in a 3. No Bahamian has ever learned more in France. At 2, Lamar Taylor was a member of 2 national record-setting relay teams at the SEC Champs, the 200 and 400 free. And finally, at 1, you can tell me Keno Burrows is going to be able to do this for the next 50 years, and I'd believe it. Playing the passing lanes and still showing off the bunnies. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. It's the weekend, so go out there and find you some youth sports to watch. There's tons of it going on, whether it's soccer, swimming, basketball, baseball. It's out there, and it's better than anything else on Netflix. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on our news tonight, from parades to community outreach, the Royal Bahamas Police Force has a packed schedule for Police Month, which officially kicks off this weekend, marking 185 years of service to the nation. And beautiful skies and warm temperatures over the New Providence, but will there be any changes? Greg is back with your extended weather forecast when our news returns. Stay with us.
Diet-friendly special.
Inti Corporation is on the move, day by day, panel by panel. Our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, Inti redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucayas solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. Inti is on the move as a beacon of progress and innovation that is rapidly transforming our energy landscape. Witness the future of sustainable energy unfolding on the island of Grand Bahama as Inti Corporation shines brighter than ever. Inti Corporation, powering your world, powering your future.
It's the first exclusive destination jump.
This is our news. Welcome back. Beautiful conditions around the islands. Once again, as a weak pressure pattern is in place, that's courtesy of a weak high pressure. But there are a couple of boundaries across our area. One across the central Bahamas, that's a surface trough that's generating some isolated showers across that area. We also have a very weak frontal boundary now dropping into the northwest Bahamas. Not much clouds or any kind of weather associated with that boundary. But both of these boundaries will continue to push towards the south and east and away from us. First one across the northwest Bahamas will weaken. That second boundary across the central Bahamas will continue to produce a couple of showers across that area as it pushes out. But we do expect high pressure to briefly build across us for the weekend, and then we do expect another front to get near by Monday. That should bring us a reinforcing shot of some cool air mass, and it's going to look like some very nice days ahead in the forecast. Future forecast showing the moisture associated with that boundary near the central Bahamas, most of the activity out there in the open Atlantic, some high-level clouds moving across us, with some patchy showers across our area, but by Saturday to Sunday, here comes that frontal boundary we expect to get near, and that one, as I mentioned, should bring us just a reinforcing shot of some cool air, and we expect some nice conditions on the upcoming week. Boating forecast, beautiful on the waters tonight through tomorrow for the northwest Bahamas, southeast to south winds at 10 knots, falling light and variable at times, seas 1 to 3 feet. High tide is at 8:10 tonight. The low tide takes place at 2:24 in the morning. Central and southeastern islands and east to southeasterly flow expected. 10 to 15 knots, seas will be running 2 to 4 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, we'll keep some isolated showers in the forecast, but I don't think we're going to see much in terms of any significant rainfall with that frontal boundary. But behind that, nice conditions expected. Another front coming through on Monday. Temperatures will be in the 70s, and do we expect temperatures to be back into the 80s by the middle of next week. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe weekend, everybody.
All right, thanks so much, Greg. Well, this weekend, the Royal Bahamas Police Force will kick off Police Month, and they have a series of activities planned to celebrate one of the country's oldest law enforcement agencies. This year, the force celebrates 185 years of crime fighting. The RBPF was established on March 1st, 1840, and since then has grown from a handful of officers to hundreds. To mark the anniversary, each March is celebrated with a slew of activities and events. Inspector Gerard Culmer from the RBPF's Public Affairs says it all begins on Saturday.
The first of Saturday at 4 p.m. we will be having I'll call it a mini beat retreat. We will have special guests including the Cats of the Bag. We have in KB along with Fan Sean, and they will be assisted by the police band, the pop band, and the marching band. You can't forget on Sunday, we got to give the Lord, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, all his praise. So we will be, every assistant commissioner and commissioner will be going to various churches with their team.
And the activities don't end there. They're also hosting mini tattoos in several communities every Friday in March. The month will also feature walkabouts and sporting events.
We haven't had this much events since before COVID. It's just an opportunity for us to show that we still love the community.
All right, sounds exciting. Well, Hot 91 and Our News are teaming up to get you to this year's Jazz in the Gardens, March 8th and 9th, featuring Lauryn Hill, New Edition, Tony Braxton, Beanie Man, and more. Be sure to listen in to Hot 91 weekdays from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. for the Jazz in the Gardens code phrase. Once you hear it, head over to hot91fm.com or the Music Media 242 app contest page to enter. The winner receives round-trip tickets, hotel and concert tickets for you and a friend. Be sure to look out for the Our News team as well to tell us all about your experience. It's the Jazz in the Gardens Flyaway promotion. All right, and with that, we thank you for joining us for Our News tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.
Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Natalia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more content from the team you already trust.